Under a partly cloudy sky with a game time temperature of 84 degrees. It is thick and humid here on the campus of Central Oklahoma in Edmond. We welcome you to day 2 of the NCAA Central Regional Softball Tournament. Today, 21st ranked Oklahoma Baptist will face the tournament's top seed and 4th ranked nationally, UCO, with a ticket to tomorrow's championship final on the line. Hello again, everyone, and good afternoon. Welcome to the campus of Central Oklahoma in Edmond. I'm Todd Miller, along with the Bison Sports Network crew. Central Oklahoma and Oklahoma Baptist set to play for the first time this year. They met here last year, and UCO was a winner over Oklahoma Baptist. The Broncos yesterday were a 5-0 winner over Southeastern, the 1 versus 8 seeded matchup of the regional. It was 1-0 Central Oklahoma going to the 6th. That's when the Broncos got the offense going. They scored 4 times against Southeastern right-hander and went on to win by a count of 5-0. OBU, of course, got off to the great start, led 1-0 after a half inning, 4-0 after 2.5. Harding scored a run at the bottom of the 3rd, made it 4-1. The Lady Bisons would score 1 more, and Oklahoma Baptist would get yet another complete game victory from Kaylee Jones, her 31st win of the season, and the Bison win their first ever postseason game, albeit either in conference or NCAA tournament play. The win also propelled OBU to a record of 44-10. The Broncos come in with a record of 48-6. They are just 3 wins shy of tied and 4 away from breaking the program's all-time best total, a win total of 51 victories. UCO, without a doubt, has been one of the best teams not only in the region but the entire country, really from start to finish of this season. They have run roughshod over the normally rugged MIAA schedule. They won the regular season and then dominated in the postseason conference tournament last week, walloping Fort Hays State, Central Missouri, 9th-ranked Rogers State, and 25th-ranked Missouri Southern to win the conference championship. For Cody White, he has just done a remarkable job here at Central Oklahoma. In his 9th season, Cody 3 wins shy of 400. He now has picked up 4 of the program's all-time MIAA conference titles. They also have won 3 regional championships in 2006, 2012, and 2013, so they are looking to take it a step further here in 2023. It will be a rematch of yesterday's starters, and not really a rematch because the 2 teams didn't play. It will be Kaylee Jones in the circle for Oklahoma Baptist against UCO ace Taryn Ritz. When we return, a look at today's starting lineups, and we'll throw the first pitch. It's UCO and OBU next to the Bison Sports Network. Back at Jerry Pinkston Stadium in Edmond, moments away for the first pitch, and I challenge you to find a better pitching matchup anywhere in the country at any level than what we have today in this regional winners bracket final between Central Oklahoma, ranked 4th nationally, and 21st ranked Oklahoma Baptist. Taryn Ritz, 22-1. Kaylee Jones, a program best, 31 wins, 6 losses, so the 2 aces have combined for a 53-7 record on the season. Baseball is playing in the winners bracket final at the conference tournament over at Springdale. Bottom of the 7th, nobody out. Southern Arkansas leading 4-1, and the 18th-ranked Mule Riders have the bases loaded against Oklahoma Baptist. Here's a look at the starting lineups, first of all, for OBU. Leading off at shortstop, Emily Adler. Batting second in right field, Reagan Ford. Hitting third in center field, Sammy Green. Batting cleanup, the DP, Morgan Max. Hitting fifth and catching, Sam Campos. Batting sixth at first base, Kennedy Clark. Second baseman, Annie Reese bats seventh. Gwen Miller in the starting lineup today at third. She hits eighth, and Sydney Adler bats ninth and plays left. Here we go. Taryn Ritz, wearing 99 on the back of the white, navy, and gold jerseys, fires the first pitch, and it is a strike, and we are underway. About a minute ahead of schedule, scheduled for a 1 o'clock first pitch here in Edmond. Winner will be in the final tomorrow at 1. The loser will have to battle back, needing 3 wins to win the regional. Swing and a foul tip, and it snowballs 2 strikes to Emily Adler. Adler yesterday reached in an air, grounded out, popped out twice. Adler comes in after being named the Great American Conference Player of the Year, hitting .409. This is her 55th start of the season. Now the 0-2 pitch. That one is upstairs, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Taryn Ritz is a 5'8" sophomore from here in Edmond, prepped at Deer Creek High School. Now the pitch, and a little tapper out in front of home plate, foul, so the count holds 1 ball, 2 strikes. Taryn Ritz was named to the all-region first team along with Kaylee Jones. Next pitch stays upstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 22-1, earned run average of 1.98. 33rd game play, 22nd start, 159 in the 3rd innings. Ritz's pitch hit foul on the first base side. So Emily Adler attacking against Taryn Ritz here early. 138 hits against Ritz, 48 runs, 45 earned, 97 strikeouts, and 26 walks. Here's the pitch. Slow roller up the first base side. That'll be gloved by Tatum Long, who applies the tag, and that's the way the ball game starts. A 3 unassisted ground out, 1 up, 1 down for OBU, and here's Reagan Ford. Reagan Ford yesterday walked, reached an error, had an infield hit. That came as part of the 3-run, 4-hit 3rd inning, which essentially won the ball game for OBU. After they led 1-0 after 1, they built the lead to 4-0, held on for a 4-2 win. Ford, a slap hitter, takes the first pitch high, 1 ball, no strikes. The wind today, a little bit more of a factor than it was yesterday. It's blowing straight out to center field, the deepest part of the ballpark at 220, and it's gusting at times over 20 miles per hour. 2 balls, no strikes to Reagan Ford, junior from California. Here's the pitch, and it's slapped right back to the circle, gloved by Ritz, throw to first in time, and there's 2 gone. So 2 up, 2 gone for OBU against the ace right-hander from Central Oklahoma. Here is the center fielder, Sammy Green. Sammy Green hitting .342. This is her 40th game played. She missed about 8 games in the middle portion of the season around to the start of the conference schedule. Swings and misses at an off-speed pitch for a strike, 0-1. Sammy Green yesterday had a couple of hits, scored 2 of the 4 runs, drove in a run with a 3rd inning single. She was 2 for 4 to start her regional career. Here's the 0-1. Downstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. Taryn Ritz allowing a .230 batted average again. She's given up 16 home runs in the year. As a staff, UCO has surrendered 37. They've hit 74 as a team. Called strike. Then it's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Sammy Green. Rich yesterday went 7 innings, 2 hits. Both of those came early in the game in a 5-0 win over Southeastern. She struck out 4, did not walk about her. Neither Ritz or Kaylee Jones had high strikeout totals yesterday. And a little tapper foul up the 3rd base side, so Sammy Green lives to see another pitch. Both among the region's best in strikeouts. Kaylee Jones over 300 strikeouts on the year. 309 to be exact, and Taryn Ritz with 97. Here's the pitch. That misses away, and the count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sammy Green with the 2 hits yesterday now has hit safely in 7 of her last 8 starts. In comes the 2-2 pitch, and called 3rd strike on the inside. No, they called it a ball. Well, that didn't miss by much at all. The OBU fans on the 3rd base side liked the call. Obviously, the majority of the crowd detests that call. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch, swing and a miss. So she finishes her off with her first strikeout. And the Bison go in order. We've completed a half inning of this regional winners bracket final from Edmond. Oklahoma Baptist nothing. Central Oklahoma coming up next on the Bison Sports Network. Back in the NCAA Central Regional Softball Tournament, winners bracket final, 4th-ranked UCO, 21st-ranked Oklahoma Baptist. Bison go in order of the first. Here is the Bronco lineup, leading off in right field, Riley Lemos, batting second at shortstop, Emily DeRamus. Hitting third, the designated player, Amelia Huggins. Their cleanup hitter is the left fielder, J.C. Minter. Batting fifth at third base, Shayla Harper. Hitting sixth and pitching, Taryn Ritz. Batting seventh at first base, Tatum Long. Hitting eighth and in center field, Shaylee Oldham. And batting ninth for the Broncos at second base is Michaela Rutland. Bison wearing the black and green and white tops over green bottoms. UCO in the home whites here today. They are the home team, not because they're hosting or the top seed. They are the home team because of a coin flip contested yesterday that they won. Riley Lemos, the right fielder, to lead off. Lemos hitting .335 over 55 games, and the first pitch from Jones misses ball one. Lemos yesterday had a couple of hits. UCO scored 5 runs on 8 hits against Southeastern. And their starter, Taylor, here's the pitch. In there for a strike, and it's 1-1. Kaylee Jones yesterday, again, not a high strikeout day for her. She only struck out 4 Lady Bisons from Harding. Her total at 309 for the season. And the pitch hit back and foul out of play. Strike 2. It is a nice day, but boy, is it warm here in Oklahoma. Another chance of storms across central Oklahoma later today. The 1-2 pitch. That one is away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the challenge going forward for the rest of the weekend becomes beating Mother Nature, because there is an elevated chance of rain, heavy at times, starting tomorrow and into Sunday. 2-2 pitch. Upstairs, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now Kaylee's payoff pitch. Popped up into left field, tailing towards foul ground. It stays fair, and Adler is there to put it away for out number 1. Here's DeRamus, hitting his second best .365 of the year with 69 hits. That leads the Broncos. 12 home runs and 46 driven in. Again, they've clubbed 74 home runs this year. 14 from Harper and 12 from DeRamus. DeRamus lines that pitch right back into center field. And the first runner of the ball game is a 1-out single for Central Oklahoma, the first.
The designated player, number 25, Amelia
Huggins comes to the plate. UCO is a very, very aggressive team, much like Harding. Not as aggressive in terms of stolen bases. Harding had attempted over 130 before yesterday. Campos threw out a base runner, but the Broncos have been successful on 52 of 64 stolen base attempts. A 1-out base runner off Jones, and the first pitch pumped in there for a strike, 0-1 the count. Kaylee Jones is appearing in her 116th game at Oklahoma Baptist. Start number 88. And that one graces the jersey of Huggins, so 2 aboard for Kaylee Jones, and still only 1 out for the cleanup hitter, J.C. Minter. To beat a team like UCO, you can't self-inflict mistakes. You have to play solid defense, something OBU won despite having 3 errors yesterday, and you can't give up a lot of free passes. Kaylee just gave up 1 there to Huggins, and now 2 on for Minter. She's hitting .361, has driven in 42, and the first pitch is a strike from Jones. Jones has been very good this year when she's faced runners on base coming into the ball game. With runners, she has allowed just a 152 batting average. That is a staff low. 1 ball, 1 strike now to J.C. Minter. Minter yesterday, 2 for 3. 6 of their 8 hits came in the 1 through 4 spots against Southeastern. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kaylee's pitch into the handle and fought off, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. It was cloudy almost the entire game yesterday. The skies broke in the late innings of the OBU win over Harding. Today it is a partly cloudy sky and very, very thick air overhead. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Popped it up on the infield. Down the line from first comes Miller straddling the chalk line. She makes the catch, and that's out number 2. So Minter is retired on a pop out on the infield, and now one more to deal with, and that is the dangerous third baseman, Shayla Harper. Harper, 14 home runs, 68 total. She has 25 extra base hits that has driven in a Bronco high 54 runs. Here's the first pitch. Big swing, no contact, and it's 0-1. Minter, as you would expect, first team All-MIAA. She also was one of 5 Broncos, 3 of which were named to the All-Region first team in 2023. Infield playing back, runners at first and second, 2 away. The pitch into the handle and a little pop out towards second. Charging is Adler. She won't have a play. Sometimes it's not how hard you hit a ball, it's where you place it. That was perfectly placed. Just behind the pitcher's circle, which meant a long run to even get to the ball for the middle infielders. And Adler did the right thing with a runner advancing to third. She just held the ball. Second hit of the inning. Here's Taryn Ritz. First pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1 the count. So Ritz a chance to help her cause in the circle with a base hit here. Broncos have put together a big threat against OBU's ace here in the first inning. Here's Kaylee's 0-1. Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. Taryn Ritz, you think about her dominance in the circle, 22-1, but she's a good offensive player. 359 with 11 home runs and 47 driven in. No balls, 2 strikes. The pitch just misses away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A moment ago, the OBU partisan was happy with the call. Now they are showing their displeasure. 1-2 the count. Swing and a miss. Got her on a fastball upstairs, and Kaylee pumps her fists as UCO strands them loaded. 2 hits, 3 left after 1. In Edmond, no score here with the Bison Sports Network.
Connect with other fans and gain behind-the-scenes access to your favorite teams. For more information, visit ncaa.com/social.
Taryn Ritz failed to drive in a run with 2 outs, bases loaded. She goes back to the circle in a scoreless game. Broncos, though, since 6 had some good looks at Kaylee first time through the order. Morgan Max, Sam Campos, Kennedy Clark, if anybody reaches Addie Reese here in inning number 2. Winner will be off until tomorrow. Loser will have game 4 of the tournament off, the second of the day, and then we'll await the survivor of Harding and Southeastern. First pitch, a strike to the left-hander, Morgan Max. Taryn Ritz, career 28-3, earned run average 2.31 in a Bronco uniform. Max takes low, 1 ball, 1 strike. She has twirled 15 complete games among her first 45 starts. This is start number 29, appearance number 42 in the circle for Ritz. Second in as many days here in the tournament, and Morgan takes upstairs, 2 balls and 1 strike. Last year, she suffered a broken arm in the middle of the season. Thus, she only appeared in 9 games with 7 starts. Still fashioned a 6-2 record. A little tapper right side. Charging is the second baseman. Underhands with a glove hand. That's Michaela Rutland, and there's 1 out. So there probably was not enough time for Rutland to try to make the transfer for the glove to the throwing hand. Instead, she just scooped it with her glove hand and is able to get Morgan Max 4-3. So 4 up, 4 down to start the ball game. Here's Sam Campos. She'll pop that one out of play on the first base side for a strike. It's 0-1. Campos, 48 games played coming in. This is her 46th start, hitting .244. Campos yesterday had an RBI ground out, struck out her other two at-bats. Now it looks like Ritz is going to have a check of the softball as she hands it to the first base umpire. He looks at it and tosses it back to her. If you're just joining, OBU has not had a base runner. UCO had a couple of hits, one an infield single, a hit batsman. They had him loaded before Jones got Ritz to strike out. Called strike. Campos acted like she wanted to offer, did not. And it's no balls, 2 strikes. So best against the best here in this winner's bracket final from Edmond. The pitch. Downstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. That didn't miss by much. Taryn Ritz was as much a ballyhooed recruit coming out of Deer Creek High School for her offensive prowess as anything she had done to the circle. Here's the 1-2. That's downstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes. As a prepster at Deer Creek, she hit .497, 44 home runs, in addition to a sub-2 earned run average for the Antlers. The pitch, grounded out to short. DeRamus has it across to first, and there are 2 away. So the Bison have yet to get a ball out of the infield. They've struck out once and put 4 others on the ground. If you're looking for help in beating UCO, you're not going to get it from the Broncos. They are among, if not the best, defensive team in the country. Here's Kennedy Clark, freshman of the year in the conference, and she takes an off-speed pitch for a strike, 0-1 the count. Kennedy hitting .377. Clark yesterday in her regional debut went 0 for 3, a couple of pop-outs and a strikeout swinging. Now the 0-1. Off speed, 1 ball, 1 strike. Flags are blowing straight out to center field. Again, we told you the wind a little bit more prominent today than it was yesterday. Deepest part of the ballpark is center field at 220. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Little tapper up the third baseline. Harper charges, lobs a throw to first in time. And the Bison are 6 up, 6 down against UCO ace right-hander Taryn Ritz. We go to the bottom of the second. Still no score here on the Bison Sports Network. Todd Miller back here with you for the Central Oklahoma campus in Edmond. Central Regional Final between Oklahoma Baptist and Central Oklahoma, no score. Bison Athletic Association donors are making a direct and tangible impact on the success of over 450 OBU student athletes in the classroom, in the community, and other fields and courts of competition. When you give to the BAA, you are truly investing in champions. Learn more. Sign up today at obubison.com/BAA. Haley Jones forced UCO to leave him loaded, getting Taryn Ritz to strike out to end the first, and she opens the second with a pitch in tight to Tatum Long for ball 1. Tatum Long hitting .277, covering 137 at-bats in 52 games, now 52 starts. Here's the 1-0. In there for a strike, it's 1-1. Kaylee has pitched with a ton of pressure on her all season long in this historical year for OBU, but probably none bigger today, and that does not even take into consideration a ticket to the championship game. It factors into the opponent and who is in the circle opposite her today. 2 balls and 1 strike. Both of these teams are really good offensive clubs. The Broncos hit .335. That is an outstanding total. considering their level of competition. OBU 304. Fastball high, and the count goes to 3 balls and a strike to Tatum Long. There's just not much room for error with Ritz in the circle. This is a game that runs do not figure to be a premium. The 3-1 pitch. And a strike. Well, that looked like ball 4, and Long thought so too as she'd take a stride towards first base. Let's see if Kaylee, who's getting the sign for the Bison dugout, seated on the third base side today, can finish her off. The 3-2 pitch, and she chased but nicked it foul on a rise ball upstairs. Tatum Long yesterday was 0 for 2. First baseman was credited with 10 putouts in the win over Southeastern. Swing and a miss. Jones strikes out Long after getting a favorable 3-1 call. That is back-to-back Jones strikeouts, and now here's Shaylee Odom, the center fielder. Odom making her 41st start. This is her 45th game. Shaylee Odom is a junior from Edmond, like Ritz from Deer Creek High School, and Jones starts with a strike. Nobody on, 1 out, bottom of the second, no score. Pitch lifted foul out of play, no balls, 2 strikes. Last year, again, it was in a minimal sample. This was how big the out of Taryn Ritz was. At one point, she hit 4 of 543, 19 hits, 14 RBIs with 2 outs in an inning. And Jones was able to get her to close the first and keep this thing scoreless. 1 ball, 2 strikes. If Kaylee does not get Ritz, OBU's in a real hole and a real problem here early. Instead, it's no score in the second. 1-2 pitch. Hit back to the backstop, so Odom will see another offering from Kaylee Jones. Jones, in her career, now has struck out 760 batters and walked just 167. She is approaching 566 career innings in the circle. Off speed, stays high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. She is going to and has reset the single-season strikeout record on Bison Hill in back-to-back years. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Lined into right field for a base hit. Third hit of the ball game, and that comes to the number 8 hitter with 1 out here in the second for the Broncos. Now it's Michaela Rutland, who was named to the All-Conference defensive squad. Rutland also was well, she was not. I thought maybe she was named to the All-Conference team. Don't have her on the list. So 1 on, 1 out in a scoreless game here in the second. Jones winds, brings home the pitch, and it's downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Last year, Kaylee Jones went over 300 strikeouts. First time that had ever been done in program history. 304 and 207 and 2/3 innings. This year, 225 innings and 311. Foul ball back to netting, 1 ball, 1 strike. Jones debuted in the COVID-shortened year of 2020 with 0-1, 10 appearances, 3 starts. But she has really blossomed under the direction of head coach and pitching coach Sam Maples, former Division I pitcher at Florida Atlantic herself. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That'll get out of play on the third base side. Advantage to Jones, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Rutland becomes a really key batter in this inning because if you don't get her, you've allowed 2 of the bottom 3 to reach, and the top of that very good Bronco lineup is awaiting on deck with Lemos. In comes the 1-2 pitch. That's away, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jones has only given up 9 home runs this year. That is the most in a full season in her OBU career. 2 years ago, she surrendered 10. Last year, 16. One is belted but pulled foul down the left field line. It'll head off into the parking lot just opposite the stadium. And it remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. We were telling you yesterday that this is a beautiful campus. Most of you, if you're a Bison fan, at some point spend some time here at Edmond. It's also a terrific athletic complex named after alum Chad Richardson. 3 balls, 2 strikes. It is the Chad Richardson Sports Complex. It includes Wendell Simmons Field, Jerry Pinkston Stadium, and of course Chad Richardson Stadium, the football stadium It sets just beyond the right and center field fence. Here's the 3-2. Another pop up, and that's out of play. And if you weren't with us yesterday, it's 204 down the left and right field lines, 220 to straightaway center field. A blue fence with a yellow stripe across the top of it. Here's the payoff pitch. Another pop-up, so Rutland continues to battle Kaylee Jones. In very shallow center field, the UCO logo is placed on the artificial surface in navy and trimmed in gold. Three and two the count, 1 on, 1 out. We're in the second, no score. Here's Jones' pitch, and it's upstairs. So Kaylee has walked a batter and hit one in her career. That is her 168th walk. And now problems here in the second as UCO again has a threat. Riley Lemos, who flied out to Sydney Adler in left field, steps into the batter's box. She is a left-hander. First pitch is away, 1 ball, no strikes. Sam debated, at least before yesterday's win over Harding, whether or not she would go with Jones today, win or lose in the second game. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. And honestly, I think that decision hinged on how well Kaylee felt after the start yesterday. She economized her pitches, so it wasn't real taxing, although it was a tight game, 4-2. Here is the 2-0 pitch. In there for a strike. You have to have 2 pitchers to win in the postseason. UCO has that duo in Ritz and Pipkin. OBU has it, they think, with Jones and Younts. Little pop-up, and that is foul. It hit the white stripe and then bound into foul territory on the first base side, so it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. To me, it was a no decision if Kaylee feels good because you have to win this game. This is the key to the regional. You win this, you're in position to get out of the tournament. Needing just 1 win, you lose. You have to play 1 more today and then win tomorrow against the winner of this team twice. Ball's hit back to the net. The count holds, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And UCO continue to get good swings and have prolonged at-bats against Jones. They've only struck out 185 times of the year before today, drawn 210 walks. There's a well-hit ball into center field. It's over the head of Green. Heading for third base is going to be Odom. They're going to wave her around. Now the throw comes in behind her, and Odom scurries back into first just as Gwen Miller had picked the ball up. So 2 things happened on that play, one of which was Sammy Green did a good job to get back there very, very quickly. She took the right angle of the ball. But unlike yesterday on a double, we saw actually a triple from Harding. OBU got a more fortuitous bounce that time. It didn't hit the wall and then shoot about halfway back towards the infield. Here's Sam Maples out to talk to Kaylee Jones. There's still only 1 out, and this was what we were talking about, that Rutland is the key in this inning, especially if the Broncos go on to build a lead. They've already got hit the Bison 4-0. So because Green took a good angle on that play and the ball did not bounce that far from her, she was able to quickly get it back into the infield, and they almost had a chance to get Odom, who made a wide turn at third. We saw an outfield assist yesterday for Oklahoma Baptist and Reagan Ford. That was on a throw-in error by the starting third baseman, Allie Ryan. She tried to get a force out at second, threw it into right center field. Reagan Ford then threw back into the bag and was able to get the runner. Here's Emily DeRamus, hitting the second best batted average, has driven in 46 for the Broncos. Pitches inside, 1 ball, no strikes. So OBU finding out where they are as a program today against a top 4 program that may be as good as anybody in the country. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It'll pop up, and that will hit and go foul. Again, about like Lamos did a minute ago as it hit the white stripe and then bound back towards the batter's box. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jones, over the last couple of weeks, has not been a high-volume strikeout pitcher, despite the numbers. Boy, she could use her third right here to DeRamus. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Check swing and a liner foul, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. DeRamus does not strike out much at all. 190 at-bats now after her first inning single. She struck out just 17 times. In comes the 1-2. Good swing and fouled it again back to the netting. You look at a lot of the batters, and it would appear that it's been somewhat stress-free for Kaylee. She hadn't had to throw a lot of pitches in terms of the count, but almost every Bronco hitter has fouled at least 3, if not 4 or 5 pitches off in their at-bat. Here's the 1-2. Stayed low and went away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. These two are 2 of the hottest teams in the country. OBU had a 17-game win streak snapped in Bentonville last Thursday. They've won 18 of their last 19. Broncos have won 17 straight. There's a pop-up, shallow left field. In comes Sydney Adler. She'll make the catch. And she made it about a step and a half from what is the brown part and the infield of this artificial surface. So a huge out there, but it gets no easier with Huggins stepping to the plate. Broncos have 6 players at .323 or better in their lineup. 4 players with double digits in home runs. 7 players with 36 or more runs driven in. A pop-up left side. There is Adler, and Emily makes the catch. Call it off Miller. And for the second straight inning, Central Oklahoma leaves the bases loaded, and Jones will get a standing ovation. In the inning, 2 hits, 3 left. UCO is stranded 6. We go to the third. No score on the Bison Sports Network. Top of the third inning, OBU dodging huge bullets in the first couple of innings. UCO, no runs, 4 hits, 6 left against Kaylee Jones. Bison will send the bottom part of their lineup to the plate against Taryn Ritz to complete their first trip through the lineup. Addie Reese, 0 for 3, reached an error yesterday on a drop throw at first base. She grounded out to shortstop twice. Righty versus righty. Here we go, inning number 3 underway, and a hard ground ball rolled foul just past Jace Brewer in the third base coach's box. I need to correct myself. I said it was Lemos. Her name is Lemus. Riley Lemus out in right field. Call her what you want. I'll call her a good player. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Downstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike, and there is a roster chock full of good players assembled by Cody White here in Edmond. Now the 1-1 pitch. That's away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Told you Addie yesterday was 0 for 3, or batted average down to .307. Addie Reese coming into the regional and hit safely in 5 of her last 7. Pops that one up. Foul territory, left field side. Will actually stay fair, and Minner will call off to Ramus, the left fielder, with a catch about 3 steps in fair territory, and that's out number 1. So that's the first ball in 2 1/3 innings that Oklahoma Baptist has had out of the infield against Taryn Ritz. Here's Gwen Miller, the third baseman. Miller getting the start after Allie Ryan has been shaky at third defensively. Miller puts down a bunt. It's a good one, and the throw sails into right field. But backing up the play is Lemus, so there will be no advancement. That was a terrific bunt by Gwen Miller. We'll see how they score that. I think the throw may have beaten her to the bag. Lane Smith did a great job to pounce on it. The second baseman, Rutland, got over there in position of the ball. Never really had a chance to be gloved by Michaela Rutland as it just sailed right down the right field line. They score that in air, so it's E2 on the catcher. Here is Sydney Adler, who takes ball one. So Oklahoma Baptist gets their first base runner. Compliments of an error by the Bronco defense, something they don't do a lot of. Here's the pitch. Called strike, no balls, two strikes to left-handed hitting outfielder Sydney Adler. Adler last night led off that third inning, which was the decisive inning in favor of Oklahoma Baptist, with a single. Here's the 1-2. Actually, it's one ball, two strikes now. Adler hitting .267, covering 51 games, 41 starts. Here's the 1-2. Called strike three. Ritz worked the inner third of the plate and got the call, and boy, Adler's got to swing the bat. Adler to Adler. Now it's Emily with one on and two out here in the third. Adler grounded out, unassisted to first to start the ball game, and she takes a fastball for a strike, 0-1 the count. Check swing, foul ball, third base side, no balls, two strikes. Ritz has gone the distance in back-to-back postseason victories over Missouri Southern and Southeastern. 14 innings, 11 hits, 4 runs, with 4 walks and 6 strikeouts. But she has been much better than those totals here today. The pitch, one hop to third. It's knocked down by Harper. Gets a good bounce, throws to first. Throw is low, Long cannot dig it out. And Adler is safe. So Reagan Ford will have a chance to bat with 2 on here in the third. That'll be an error on Harper. Coming into this regional winners bracket final, Central Oklahoma in 54 games had committed just 27 errors. Harper at third base with her 8th error of the season. Earlier here in the inning, Lane Smith, the catcher, had her first error of the year. Corners are pinched in for the Broncos. Bison with her first threat. Compliments of shaky Bronco defense. Let's see if they can get a hit here from Reagan Ford. Wynn Miller with good speed at second. They would probably try to score her on one of the outfielders. A liner foul off the top of the third base dugout. It's no balls and 1 strike. Baseball playing today, the conference winners bracket final. It's gone final, 6-1 Southern Arkansas. So OBU will play again later today against the survivor of Ouachita and Henderson State, needing to beat SAU twice tomorrow. Called strike, look low, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. Jake Hamilton took the loss, 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs. 6 walks really was his undoing and 2 strikeouts. Here's the 1-2. Bouncer to third, handled by Harper, flips to first, and just did get a lunging base runner, Reagan Ford. No runs, no hits, 2 errors, 2 left. Bottom of the third, no score. In Edmond at the NCAA Central Regional Softball Tournament on the Bison Sports Network.
Don't miss out on witnessing the next great moment in sports history. Find a championship near you by visiting NCAA.com/tickets.
We go to the bottom of the third. Todd Miller with you on a warm afternoon here in Oklahoma. No score. The Broncos have stranded 6. OBU getting 2 base runners in the third, but left them both aboard. 4, 5, and 6 due up for Central Oklahoma against Kaylee Jones. The school year is winding down, but for future references, if you haven't already done so, you need to download the OBU mobile app. It's available in the Google Play or iPhone App Store. It'll give you news alerts and all the information on game times and game changes, especially in the spring. That is the OBU mobile app on Google Play or the iPhone App Store. J.C. Minner popped out to third her first time up. Takes high, 1 ball, no strikes. Infield is Clark at first, Reese at second, Emily Adler at short, Gwen Miller at third. Sydney Adler in left to pop up behind home plate. Campos has room, makes the catch, and it's out number 1 here with the UCO third. Sammy Green is in center, Reagan Ford is in right, Jones in the circle, and again Campos, who just put that pop up in foul territory to bed, is behind the plate. Shayla Harper has an infield hit, one of 4 hits that UCO has today against Bison right-hander Kaylee Jones. First pitch is a rise ball. It's popped up, shallow left. Out goes Emily. In comes Sydney. It's the latter of the Adlers that makes the catch in shallow left for out number 2. So Jones has retired 4 straight after the Broncos had the bases loaded with 1 out back in the second inning. Impressive performance by Kaylee Jones today to keep her team in it. First pitch, fastball, strike, 0-1 the count. Broncos, winners of 17 straight. We told you they dominated the MIAA postseason tournament, sweeping both the regular and postseason titles. Another pop-up on the infield. Miller comes down, fighting the sun with a throwing hand, makes the catch about halfway to home. And an easy, thank goodness, an easy third inning for Kaylee. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the fourth, still scoreless between OBU and Central Oklahoma on the Bison Sports Network.
Visit NCAA.com/game programs for an inside look at today's championship.
Todd Miller back here with you from Jerry Pinkston Stadium. Fairly recently renovated. The seating bowl down below seats about 300 spectators, and there's a bunch here today, as you would expect, with the tournament favorite and the homestanding Broncos in action, trying to improve to 6-0 in the postseason. They're scoreless with 21st ranked OBU. We head to the 4th inning. Sammy Green, 3, 4, and 5, the part of the lineup to face Taryn Ritz for a second time this afternoon. Outfield straight up, very deep, especially left and center field. First pitch from Ritz is a strike, 0-1 the count. Ritz in high school led the Deer Creek Antlers to 3 straight state tournament berths. She was an all-state pitcher. Bunt up the third base side, fielded by Harper, throw to first, and she's safe. Well, it's a terrific bunt again. It was less than a third of the way down the line to third base, but it was well out of the reach for Smith. Harper got a good jump and made a good, strong throw of the run, but Sammy Green ran a little too well and beat it out. That's the first Bison hit of the ballgame. And it's appropriate because OBU has just 1 ball out of the infield today. Here's Morgan Max, the DP, and she takes a strike, 0-1 the count. Winner off for the remainder of the day. They'll play tomorrow in the championship game at 1. Loser will begin a trek through the elimination bracket at 6 tonight against either Harding or Southeastern. Pitch is downstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. The Broncos are no strangers to the Great American Conference. In fact, they really could bid for honorary membership. This year they have gone 11-1 against teams from the GAC. Here's the 1-1. High and away, 2 balls and 1 strike. That includes now a 4-0 record over Southeastern, 2-0 against Southern Nazarene and Northwestern. They went 1-0 against Arkansas Tech, Southwestern, and East Central. Their only loss was here in early February by a run 9-8 to Southern Arkansas. That was on February the 18th. 3 balls and 1 strike. Cody White, 3 wins shy of 400 in his 9th season here at Central. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and it's ball 4. I guess it was a little low. It didn't miss by much. So the first 2 have reached here in the 4th inning. OBU has been very aggressive since Jace Brewer came on staff a couple of years ago, especially in situations just like this. So let's see what he'll do. The Broncos are going to pull the infield in, especially the corners, with Long at first and Harper at third. And coming out of the dugout and running at first base for Oklahoma Baptist will be Megan Roberts. Sam Campos will be the hitter after the conference ends with Jace Brewer. Home plate umpire making the press box aware there is a courtesy runner for Morgan Max, and that is, again, Megan Roberts. Here we go. Campos trying to bunt and nicks it foul, so it's a strike, 0-1 the count. Talk about playing almost perfect ball to beat teams the caliber of the Broncos. That includes doing the little things and advancing runners when you have an opportunity. Let's see if they keep the bunt sign on here for Sam Campos. Here's the 0-1. This time it is down. 1 play. That's the first, and it's in time. That'll be a 2-4 sacrifice. Smith to Rutland, the second baseman, covering. Green over to third, Roberts to second, and here is the freshman of the year in the Great American Conference, Kennedy Clark. Kennedy grounded out, third to first to end the side back in the second inning. UCO has the infield pulled in. Bison have had 4 base runners, a hit, a walk, and 2 errors, and the first pitch to Clark is away, 1 ball, no strikes. Taryn Ritt's father, Todd, played at Southern Methodist and Southwestern. A fly ball into center field. It's sinking on the run as Odom. She'll make the catch. Tagging from third, Green. She slides in, and OBU has a 1-0 lead. And that was a good play by Shaylee Odom. That ball was sinking, and she made a running catch near the U of the UCO logo in shallow left center field. And she made the catch about at the kneecaps. So Kennedy Clark gets the job done. RBI number 28 for the freshman, 1-0 Oklahoma Baptist. Here's Addie Reese. She takes high, 1 ball, no strikes. And despite the fact that that ball was not hit very hard, the fact that Odom had to make a running catch and never could get in position to throw the ball enabled the runner Green to tag from third and score. There's a pop out, shallow left. Out is DeRamus, the shortstop. She makes the catch. Hitting over, an infield single, a walk, a sacrifice. In fact, 2 sacrifices give the Bison the lead. 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th here at Edmond on the Bison Sports Network. Here we go, bottom of the 4th inning at Jerry Pinkston Stadium. Winners bracket final, NCAA Central Region softball tournament. OBU, a couple of sacrifices, a walk, an infield single. Now give Kaylee Jones a 1-0 lead. For the Broncos, it will be the lower third of the lineup. Now, that's the part that really gave Jones trouble the first time up, 2 of those 3 reaching, and set up another bases loaded jam back in the second inning, which Kaylee escaped. First pitch, fastball at the belt buckle. It's a strike. 0-1 the count to Tatum Long. Still looking for her first hit in the regional tournament after striking out against Jones back in the second. Here's the 0-1. Checked her swing, but it sounded like it nipped the bat. Now they're going to ask the first base umpire. He said she did not go around, so it evens 1 ball and 1 strike. Now the OBU fans are saying the exact same thing that I was. It sounded like that the ball had nicked the bat. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody on, nobody out in the fourth. Now it's 2-1 as Kaylee misses high. Don't forget, Bison Nation, you can stay up to date on the latest at OBU Sports by following us on Facebook at OBU Bison and on Twitter and Instagram at OBU_athletics. 1-0 OBU. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Harding and Southeastern to play for their season in the following game. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That game will start around 3, perhaps 3:15, depending on how this one goes. And then the final game of the day will have the winner of that against the loser of this one at 6. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's out of play, third base side. So Tatum Long will see another pitch from Kaylee Jones. Two balls, 2 strikes. Jones wants to do the ball put in play. She's granted that by the home plate umpire. Haley rocks and fires, brings it home. That pitch belted down the line and left, but it's curling foul. No doubt about it, she had home run distance, but that ball was moving left of the foul pole from the time it left the bat. Tatum Long hitting out the lower part of the lineup. This is how good UCO is. That would have been her 7th home run if it stays fair. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Got her looking on the outside corner. Kaylee with strikeout number 4, and the bases are empty with 1 out for Odom. Odom today has a single. It came back in the second inning. First baseman Kennedy Clark coming in close. Pitch is away. 1 ball, no strikes. Kaylee Jones now up to 66 pitches through 3+ innings today. The pitch just misses away. 2 balls, no strikes. 3 strikeouts, 4 hits, no earned runs, and 1 walk for Kaylee through 3 1/3. Now Jones 2-0. Inside quarter, 2-1 the count to Shaylee Oldham. Shayleigh, Odom, Odom. Starting center fielder for the Broncos. Here's the 2-1. Did she go? They say she did not, as that pitch was high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. Bison leading 1-0 over tournament host and favorite and 4th-ranked Central Oklahoma. Here's the 3-1, and she walked her. Second walk given up by Kaylee, and UCO has had a base runner, at least 1 base runner, in 3 of the 4 innings today. Here's Michaela Rutland, who walked and was left aboard back in the second. Jones forced the Broncos to leave the bases loaded in the first 2 innings, then got the Broncos in the middle part of the lineup, 1, 2, 3 in the third. The pitch hit foul. It was a bullet, but foul down the left field line for a strike. 0-1 the count. OBU this year in true road games is 16-7. Central Oklahoma at home this year is 23-3. And again, one of those losses came back in February against a Southern Arkansas team that finished 3rd of the Great American Conference. Pitch upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. Southern Arkansas, though, yesterday beat defending national champion Roger State 5-0 to their regional opener in Joplin. In fact, the Mule Riders and Southern or Missouri Southern playing as we speak. Called strike, 1 ball, 2 strikes. They'll play an elimination game with Rogers State and Minnesota Duluth after the conclusion of that first game in Joplin. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Stays high. So Rogers State, the defending national champions, is going to have to get 4 consecutive wins just to get out of the bottom part of this Central Regional and play for a chance next week to go to the World Series again. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Challenged her up and in with high heat. And down goes Rutland. So that is now 2 away for Lemus. Riley Lemus singled back in the second. 1 of 4 hits, UCO has registered off Kaylee Jones. They've out-hit OBU 1-0, but the Bison lead at 1-0. There's a little popper on the third base side, playable near the coach's box. Miller is underneath it, and nothing comes of the 1-out walk. No hits, 1 left. We move to the 5th in a pitcher's duel. 1-0 Oklahoma Baptist over Central Oklahoma on the Bison Sports Network.
Play college sports. Visit ncaa.org/playcollegesports to learn more about NCAA eligibility requirements.
Show your OBU spirit in Rep Carip with officially licensed Bison apparel from shopobubison.com. Shopobubison.com is the official online store of OBU Athletics and the only place online to buy OBU apparel, accessories, gifts, and more, with purchases benefiting Bison Athletics. Wynn Miller, Sydney Adler, and Emily Adler here in the 5th against right-hander Taryn Ritz. Miller tried to bunt and bunted it foul as it was up and in, 0-1 the count. Decent contingent of Bison fans. Among those is men's basketball coach Jason Aker. He's here with his son Isaac, standing about 2 rows from the top of the bleachers on the third base side. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Popped it up into left field. Out goes DeRamus. In comes Mentor, and it's the latter that makes the catch. So Miller's retired on a fly ball out to left, and here is Sydney Adler. Adler was punched out on strikes her first time up in the 3rd. Well, Jason has been really following the progress of OBU's baseball and softball seasons as they've progressed into the postseason. 1-2 hopper out to short of the charging DeRamus, and she'll throw it away. She had to rush the throw because Adler can run. And we'll have to see how that's scored. There was no advancement, so you could make a case that she beats it out for an infield hit. They're going to score an error on the shortstop. That's the 3rd today against UCO. Elena Rushing will come in for Sydney Adler, which means that more than likely Rushing will play left field the remainder of the ball game. 1 on, 1 out. 5th inning, 1-0 OBU, leading 4th-ranked Central Oklahoma. First pitch hit foul, just foul of the first base bag, 0-1 the count. Jason recently wrapped up his recruiting for the 23-24 season, so again he's taking in some softball here today. Murphy stopped by Hamilton Fieldhouse. See his old friend and former boss, Bob Hoffman. Ground ball, deep short. They'll throw to first, and out at first base is Emily Adler. It was a good play by DeRamus. She was deep in the hole and had to make a perfect throw, and she did. That moves rushing into scoring position at second on the 6-3 ground out, so it is a productive out. And here is Reagan Ford. See if Reagan can roll one into the outfield and allow Oklahoma Baptist to stretch a 1-0 lead. First pitch to Ford is a strike, and swiping third base is rushing. Lane Smith double pumped on the throw. That was enough for Rushing, who's out there for Adler, to slide in with a stolen base, the Bison's first of the ball game. There's a one-hopper out to second. Rutland has it over to first, inning over. Error, stolen base. Bison leave one. They've stranded 4 over the last 3 innings against Taryn Ritz. To the bottom of the 5th we go for the Central Regional in Edmond. 1-0 Oklahoma Baptist to the Bison Sports Network. Back here with the campus of Central Oklahoma, bottom of the 5th inning. Kaylee Jones completed her warm-up tosses, and we move to the inning, the Bronco half, and this is a key with 2, 3, and 4 coming up now for Central Oklahoma. 2 of the 4 games in the Central region yesterday went to seeding. UCO over the 8th seed, Southeastern 5-0. Missouri Southern, the 2 seed, hosting and going to walk off against 7th seed Minnesota Duluth. The 2 lower seeds to win were both for the Great American Conference, OBU in the 4-5 matchup, and Southeastern the 3-6 matchup. First pitch, a swing and a miss to DeRamus, 0-1 the count. DeRamus has singled, was left 1 of 3 in the first inning, and 1 of 6 base runners stranded by the Broncos in the first 2 innings. She flew out to left her last time. Elena Rushing incidentally remains in the ballgame at left. Pitch fouled back, no balls, 2 strikes. We have not seen any other defensive changes yet. Kennedy Clark, usually at the midway point of a ball game, will give way to Shelby Warden, and Gwen Miller usually comes in, but she started today. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. DeRamus goes down swinging. Strikeout number 5 for Kaylee Jones. Here is Huggins, the designated player, was hit by a pitch in the first inning and then popped out to short. Back in the second. You play your cards right, you may only have to face this part of the lineup in the 7th inning. Pitch stays high, 1 ball, no strikes. And this is a lineup that just scares you to death. Over 70 home runs, hitting over .330 in the season. Here's the 1-0. In there for a strike. Count evens up. If OBU holds on, we'll be off until tomorrow. If they cannot hold the lead, we'll be back for a first pitch around 6 o'clock tonight, playing for the season. Here is the 1-1 pitch. Stays high. Advantage Huggins. 2 balls and a strike. Bison baseball team losing to 18th-ranked Southern Arkansas today. They're 0-4 against the Mule Riders this season. 6-1 the final. Called strike at the knees, 2-2 the count. Some of the big bats continuing to struggle for Oklahoma Baptist. Jaden Schaefer was 1 for 4, had an RBI for the Bison of the loss. Here's the 2-2. Little popper out to short. Adler charges and has it. And there's 2 away here in the 5th. Well, there is, without a doubt, no denying this is the biggest softball game in OBU program history. They've never been to the NCAA region before. They won their first ever either conference or regional tournament game yesterday, 4-2 over Harding. Here's Minner, popped out to third, fouled out to Campos. Takes high and in tight, 1 ball, no strikes. By comparison, UCO is coming off their 7th conference title in program history, their 4th under Cody White. And this is their 18th regional appearance all time. They have 37 wins in NCAA regional play. Called strike, 1 ball, 1 strike to Minter. Their regional record in NCAA tournament play is 37-30. That's actually in all NCAA tournament games, including a 2013 national title, the only such title in program history. 2 balls and a strike. Well, OBU has recorded just 40 wins for the 3rd time in program history. Central Oklahoma has won 40 or more for the 7th time under Cody White. Ball hit deep, turning foul, but in the corner, Elena Rushing makes the catch against the wall in foul territory. So a clean 5th inning. We head to the 6th at Central Oklahoma. Number 21 leading number 4, 1-0 to the Bison Sports Network.
As they are retiring 4 times faster than they are coming in, leaving shortages at all levels.
Through 5 innings, Kaylee Jones leaves with a 1-0 lead. She has thrown 85 pitches. Through 5, Taryn Ritz for Central Oklahoma, 58 pitches. That tells you how the Broncos have been able to extend at bat, something that we were talking about earlier. Sammy Green, Morgan Max, and Sam Campos. 3, 4, and 5 due up for Sam Maples' club. Maples with career win number 129 yesterday, the most in any first 5 years by a Bison softball coach. Former Colorado Christian assistant. Green shows bunt, takes a fastball away, 1 ball, no strikes, and that brought Long and Harper from 1st and 3rd respectively charging. 1-1-0 for Oklahoma Baptist, 0-4-3 for the Broncos. Called strike, and it's 1-1. And if UCO does not rally, they really only have themselves to blame because of the 3 errors and the 6 base runners stranded the first 2 innings. Here's the 1-1. Still a long ways to go in this one. A called strike on the inside corner, 1-2. It's fair to say that whichever pitcher loses the game certainly deserves better. Ritz and Jones have been very good today. Here's the 1-2. Misses away, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ritz probably has been a little bit better. Hasn't faced near the traffic of the base paths, but Kaylee Jones has been Houdini numerous times today working with base runners aboard. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Lined into center field. Odom going back is there. That's probably the most well-struck ball that OBU has today off Ritz, and it's a long out to center field to start the 6th. Morgan Max is grounded to second and has walked in the ball game. We'll have a pinch hitter for the Bison. It's going to be Morgan Max. Morgan Max is the scheduled hitter. I was thinking it was Campos. The umpire turned and said something about somebody re-entering. First pitch downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. I think he was referring to the fact that there's a runner for Morgan maybe back in a couple of innings. Here's the 1-0. Nick foul, 1 ball and 1 strike. Sam Campos is the on-deck hitter. Nobody on, 1 out. We're in the top of the 6th inning. 1-0 on a sultry day here in Edmond. In comes the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball to short. DeRamus cross to first, and there's two gone.
The catcher, number 20, Sam Campos.
So 2 up, 2 down for Campos, who had a sacrifice as part of that inning in which OBU scored their only run. Taryn Ritz brings it home, and the sophomore's pitch in there for a strike, 0-1 the count. Boy, the Broncos are going to be a problem for a long time to come with the talent that they have returning next year and the arm and Taryn Ritz for 2 more seasons. 0-1 pitch. Lined into center field. It's dropping. Odom, though, makes a running catch on the O of the UCO logo, and that was in very shallow center. So an easy 6th inning for Bronco right-hander Taryn Ritz. We played 5 1/2. 1-0 Oklahoma Baptist on the Bison Sports Network. Bottom of the 6th inning of the campus of Central Oklahoma, Jerry Pinkston Stadium. Todd Miller with you on the Bison Sports Network. Appreciate the hospitality on the part of our friends here at UCO and hosting this tournament. Shayla Harper to lead off, then Ritz, then Long. Haley Jones, again, her numbers through 5 innings, 5 strikeouts, 4 hits, 2 walks, no runs, 85 pitches. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Kaylee Jones gets the sign for the third base dugout, and her head coach Sam Maples, and the first pitch is fouled off for a strike. Cody White, 397 and 143 as the head coach here at UCO, was 2-0 against Oklahoma Baptist. He beat the Bison last year 5-1. That game was on February the 18th of 2022. It's the 10th game of the season for the Broncos, the 11th for OBU. Ground ball to third. Miller guns it to first, just ahead of a sliding Harper who tried to go in head first. And there's one out here in the 6th. Taryn Ritz, who is equally, if not more so dangerous in the batter's box as she is in the pitcher circle. She's been held in check today, 0 for 2, a strikeout and a pop-out. First pitch upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Cody White had never coached at the college level before 9 years ago being named the head coach here at Central Oklahoma. He's a former high school assistant baseball and softball coach at Edmond Memorial. He graduated from Edmond Santa Fe, played 2 years of junior college baseball at North Central College in Texas, and also graduated from Southern Nazarene. 2 balls, no strikes to Ritz. Jones fires it home. And that's inside, 3 balls and no strikes. In 9 seasons, Cody has led the Broncos to 40 or more wins 7 times, including 48 and 6 this year. And the only other 2 seasons exclude the COVID year of 13 and 12 in 2020, called strike, and it's 3-1. In 2018, White led the Broncos to a 34-22 record. In 21, they were 36 and 14. Still, 36 and 34 win seasons are outstanding. A called strike, and that'll get the Boo Birds going from UCO. Ritz started to make a stride towards first. She thought it was a strike. Obviously, the fans reacting to that and the call. And let's see if Jones can come back and get a very dangerous hitter, the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Down she goes. Kaylee Jones has struck out, retired 7 hitters in a row, and that is the biggest of her 6 strikeouts this afternoon. Only because of the late innings. Here's Tatum Long, who has 2 of those 6 strikeouts, and she takes ball 1. Obviously, the strikeout of Taryn Ritz back in the first with 2 outs and the bases loaded was very key in this game, especially in a 1-run game here in the 6th. Inside and low, 2 balls, no strikes. OBU coming up in the 7th. Clark, Reese, Miller. If anybody reaches the 9-hole, Sydney Adler. Tatum Long, a key at bat for Jones here in the 6th. A little popper, third base side foul, and sliding almost into the base of the third base dugout was Gwen Miller, as Cody White had to use a little bit of athleticism to hopscotch out of the way. And it's 2 balls and a strike. You know, I thought maybe Cody White's dad was Chuck White, the longtime Oklahoma Christian baseball coach. That is not the case. His dad is Chris. Jones misses inside, 3 balls and 1 strike, and now they say she went around. They appeal to first. So Long, instead of up 3-1, is 2-2 with Kaylee Jones, and that was a late appeal. Nobody on, 2 out. Broncos to the 6th inning, 1-0 Bison. A time is called as Tatum Long steps out of the batter's box. Cody White 2-0 in 2 meetings with OBU. This is the biggest, though, of his 3 meetings with Oklahoma Baptist. Here's the pitch, and popped out a play that'll spin off to our right. OBU had 2 all-region selections, first time in program history. UCO had 5, including 3 first-teamers. Emily DeRamus was the MIAA Freshman of the Year. Cody White, the league's Coach of the Year. Here's the 3-2. Pop-up down the line and left. It'll stay fair. Rushing is there, and she puts it away, and OBU goes to the 7th with a 1-0 lead over number 4 Central Oklahoma. We'll be back after this break on the Bison Sports Network. Here we go, 7th inning. OBU 1, Central Oklahoma 0. Kennedy Clark, Addie Reese, Gwen Miller to bat. How big was that inning for Kaylee Jones and the Bison? That means now that the number 8 and 9 hole hitters, albeit they've been aboard 3 of their 4 times up against Kaylee today, will bat in the bottom of the 7th for UCO. Kennedy Clark, an RBI sac fly. She's driven home the only run of the ball game. 1-0 Oklahoma Baptist. And in comes the pitch. Called strike from Ritz, 0-1 the count. Kennedy, a freshman, was not involved in last year's 5-1 loss here at Edmond. Grounds that one up the middle and past the diving second baseman Rutland. Second hit of the ball game, first to the outfield today for OBU, and a leadoff runner to start the 7th. Here's Addie Reese, who's flied out to left and popped out to short. Now Jace Brewer is going to come in and likely put Shelby Warden in the run at first base, which means Shelb would probably stay in defensively in the bottom of the 7th inning. We've talked about it on all of our broadcasts this year, and Sam will openly tell you that she likes to play as many players as she can to get them involved in the ball game. Kennedy Clark will get a nice round for the crowd as she comes out, and Warden replaces her at first base. So Kennedy Clark, 1 for 2 today, and has driven in the game's only run. departs after a leadoff seventh inning single. And here's Addie Reese. Addie is still hitless in the tournament. Shows butt, takes high. First baseman Long came charging. Rutland, in anticipation of a throw behind Warden, covered first. That pitch actually was called a strike, 0-1. Now Reese gets the butt down. It's gloved by Harper over to first. It'll be a 5-4 sacrifice with Rutland covering, but insurance stands with Warden at second base.
Third baseman, number 11, Gwen Miller.
Remember earlier in the game we talked about when you're an underdog, you can't play with fear, but you have to make the little plays. And OBU has been successful in advancing runners today. First pitch to Gwen Miller upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Gwen Miller on the season hitting .368 with runners in scoring position. Gwen hitting .273, 3 for 11. She's ahead 2 balls now and no strikes. Against Taryn Ritz, T-E-R-I-N, Ritz, R-I-T-Z. Here's the 1-1. Popped it up on the infield. Wind will push it out into shallow left. Underneath it is DeRamus, the shortstop. And she puts it away for out number 2.
Now batting number 7, Alina Rushing.
Broncos have stranded 7, Oklahoma Baptist 4. OBU has a runner at second with 2 outs here in the 7th, leading 1-0. Here's Sydney Adler. First pitch downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Bison 0 for 7 with runners against Ritz today. Ground ball in the circle. Ritz has it to first, and here we go to the bottom of the 7th. Jones needs 3 outs away for the biggest win in OBU softball history. They lead at number 4, Central Oklahoma, 1-0 to the Bison Sports Network. Reminder, fans, you can visit shopobubison.com, the official online store of Bison Athletics. Browse their tremendous selection of officially licensed Oklahoma Baptist shirts, hats, jackets, much more. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Todd Miller with you, bottom of the 7th inning. 21st ranked OBU leading 4th ranked Central Oklahoma at Edmond 1-0.
Now batting the center fielder.
Broncos will have 8, 9, and 1 due up here in the 7th inning. Shaylee Odom has singled and walked today. Kaylee Jones winds and brings home the first pitch, and it's upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Odom singled to the second, walked to the 4th. Rutland on deck has drawn a walk and struck out. Swing and a miss, 1 ball, 1 strike. Loser of this comes back at 6 tonight. Winner off until tomorrow in the regional finals. 1 ball, 1 strike. Just misses, and it's 2-1. OBU's postseason record 0-3. All those before yesterday came in the Great American Conference Tournament. They were 1 and done last week in Bentonville. They notched their first NCAA win yesterday over Harding. Swing and a foul tip, and the count evens up to Odom, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Talk about digging deep on a warm and muggy afternoon. This next pitch will be number 100 for Kaylee Jones. 2 balls and 2 strikes. In comes the pitch. Line back to the netting. If the Bison hold on, you can bet Aspen Younts will play or pitch tomorrow in the first championship game, which means Kaylee would come back if the if necessary game is in play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jones rocks and fires and just misses 3-2. 4 hits, 2 walks. UCO's crowd making noise here in the 7th, trying to get the tie and run on. 6 strikeouts through 6 innings for Kaylee today. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Hit well into center field. Green retreating to the wall. Reaches up on the warning track and hauls it in for out number 1. Shaylee Odom really put a charge into that one. It took Sammy Green all the way back to the warning track and near the fence. Here's Michaela Rutland. She has walked and struck out of the ballgame. Bison 2 outs away. Here's the pitch. That is hit high and deep, but well fouled to the parking lot. That overhops 2 cars and then will roll under a 3rd vehicle in the 2nd row of parking. UCO leads the all-time series. OBU has had a lot of success over the years against the Broncos, but not much recently. Little check swing, fly ball into right. Ford has it. And the Bison are 1 out away. The biggest key to this game, and it's real easy, the errors. OBU had 3 yesterday. It didn't cost them today. They played errorless baseball. You have to win games like this. Lemus, the last hope for the Broncos here in the 7th. She is the top of the order. Jones' first pitch misses wide, 1 ball, no strikes. Some of the OBU fans off to our left, down below, starting to stand in unison. Trying to cheer on OBU to get 1 more out here in the 7th. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's a little low, 2 balls and no strikes. Bison have been out hit 4-2. They lead at 1-0. Bases empty for Central Oklahoma. 2 out in the 7th. In comes the pitch. In there for a strike. It's 2-1. If there was any doubt about Kaylee Jones standing nationally today, any of those questions should be quelled. Can't believe there would be. 2-1 pitch. A little flare out into left center field. That's down. So the Broncos are still breathing. Green over to cut it off, and the tying run is aboard, and the winning run in Doremus is coming to the plate. Champions do not die easily, and UCO not going to go quietly into the night. They have their 3rd leading RBI producer and their 2nd leading home run hitter coming to the plate. Sam Maples out of the dugout, going to discuss strategy with Kaylee Jones. The Bison this season, when they have scored 1 run, 1-1. The record when leading after 6 innings, 33-0. In 1-run games, and the Bison, especially early to midseason, had a lot of them. This is the 16th in which they played. They're 10-5. Here's Emily Doremus. Jones' first pitch. That hitter on the left knee. So that puts the tying run at 2nd, the winning run aboard for Amelia Huggins.
The designated player, number 25, Amelia Huggins.
Well, that will hurt. She was a right-handed hitter, so it hit the outside part of her left knee. Anxious moments here today in Edmond. UCO trying to rally from 1 down with 2 out in the 7th. Here's Jones to Huggins. Inside quarter strike. 0-1 the count. Huggins, 323, 5 home runs, 33 driven in. She is a gap hitter. She has 15 doubles of the year. Now the 0-1 from Jones. Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. Huggins has struck out 14 times. That's the fewest of any of the hitters in the Bronco lineup today. OBU crowd down to our left on their feet. Jones gets the side. Now brings home the 0-2 pitch. And a ball that just missed. That's unbelievable. The OBU crowd erupted. Kaylee Jones started to celebrate. Now she has to go back to the circle and recollect her thoughts. She threw her arms in the air after what she thought was strike three. Instead, it's ball one. So the drama thickens here in Edmond, the 1-2. And she stays alive, reached down to the outer part of the plate and fouls it off to the first base dugout. Tying run, Lemus at second, winning run, DeRamus at first. 1-0, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch, little flare out to shallow left. It's going to drop for a base hit. The game is tied. The throw home was not in time. And Huggins literally made the wide turn at first and then spiked her helmet. And I'm not certain what's being called. OBU started to walk off the field. Now Cody White is out visiting with the umpire at first base. They may call, well, they've called somebody out. That was the third out. Both teams have left the field, but Amelia Huggins with a 2-strike, 2-out single in the 7th inning gives UCO a 1-1 tie. And Cody White is out there face-to-face behind the pitcher circle with his hands on his hips. We'll try to get a clarification as to what happened. We know it was an RBI 2-out single by Huggins. Sam Maples was out there as well. We'll play on to the 8th inning. This is what these two teams needed, a 1-1 tie on the Bison Sports Network. Back at Jerry Pinkston Stadium, it is what I thought that they have called Huggins out after I don't know if she thought the game was over because she made a wide turn at first, took her helmet off, and then spiked into the infield. And then that's when everybody just kind of froze. OBU looked like they were heading off the field. The run does count, so we're in the 8th inning now at a 1-1 tie. So a mistake by Huggins after she was a hero for the Broncos. Top of the order for Oklahoma Baptist. Adler to bat here in the 8th. So Kaylee Jones was 1 strike away. Now we play in the 8th. First pitch is sliced down the left field side and foul. 0-1 the count. Bison this year playing their 8th extra inning game of the year. Oklahoma Baptist 4-3. Little tapper halfway back to the circle, fielded by Ritz to first, and there's 1 out in the 8th. So Reagan Ford, 0 for 3 with 3 groundouts. Tried to get a 1-out rally started. Clearly momentum is squarely on the side of UCO. You hope the Bison aren't too deflated. They've faced a lot this year. This is just another challenge, but how they respond will determine their fate. Pitch inside, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-1 tie, UCO, 6 hits to 2 for the Bison. It's downstairs, and it's 2-0. You'd love to get Reagan Ford on with Green and then Morgan Max in the heart of the order, and Ford has probably the best speed of anybody on the team. Here's the 2-0. Bunt is down, charging his Ritz. Throw to first, it's low, and did she hold on? She did. Rutland had to handle that throw that was on the rug and almost rolled off of the bag, but she kept her right toe on. So there's 2 outs on a 5-4 out. Now it's up to Sammy Green. The Bison this year have not lost a game in which the opposition has had 2 or more errors. UCO has 3 today. First pitch downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. To this stage in the game, Oklahoma Baptist has played errorless ball. Only the 15th time that's happened this year. The record is 12-2. A lot of numbers in favor of OBU, but they're down to their last out in the 8th. And there's a liner into right field, and it's caught on the run by Lemos to retire the side. UCO will bat in the bottom of the 8th, a chance to walk it off in a 1-1 tie here with the Bison Sports Network. To the bottom of the 8th inning, Broncos will have 4, 5, and 6 up against Kaylee Jones. OBU was literally one pitch away, and they thought they had it. On an 0-2 call, Jones thought it was strike 3, so did we. It was called the ball on the very next pitch. Huggins, after fighting a couple of pitches off, was then able to drive home the game-tying run. First pitch to Mitter at the letters for a strike, 0-1 the count. JC is flied out, popped out, and flied out. Actually fouled out to Elena Rushing deep in the left field corner her last time up. Here's the 0-1. Changes speeds, drops downstairs, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. The bottom just fell out of that pitch. The 3 hitters due up for UCO today are a combined 1 for 9. Harper on deck has their only hit of that threesome, an infield single. Fly ball deep left field, that's trouble, and that ball is gone. J.C. Minner lines one to left field and gone, and UCO walks off and stuns Oklahoma Baptist. The Broncos were down to their last strike in the 7th, and then to the leadoff hitter of the 8th, they send Kaylee Jones to her 7th defeat. 2-1 the final score. Minter with her 43rd RBI and her 10th home run, so she was not an unlikely candidate. Final score 2-1. 2 runs, 7 hits for UCO, 3 errors, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for OBU. The winner is Taryn Rich. She improves to 23-1. The loser is Kaylee Jones, and she certainly deserved better than that. She falls to 31-7. A lot of smiles, a lot of hugs for UCO. OBU now will have to regroup as they go down to the left field area where they will hear from their head coach and their assistant coach. Broncos are into the championship game of the regional tournament tomorrow at 1. OBU will play tonight at 6 against either Harding or Southeastern. That'll wrap it up for our broadcast, at least for now. We'll be back on again with the pregame show coming up around 5:45 or so, give or take, depending on the outcome and the length of this next game. Final score at 8 innings, UCO 2, Oklahoma Baptist 1. For our Bison Sports Network crew, I'm Todd Miller. So long, everybody.